At the end of May last year, President Museveni appointed his long-awaited cabinet after he had been sworn in as president for his fourth term. The cabinet had a number of new and old faces drafted in, but also saw a number of proposed ministers dropped during the vetting process by Parliament. These were never replaced by appointing authority. And 3 ministers at the behest of Parliament also resigned less than a year in office. This has now created close to 9 vacant cabinet positions, but government continues to operate efficiently. Some of the vacant cabinet positions that remained vacant after vetting include Minister without Portfolio Alhaji Nassan Tegesebagala, Minister for Bunyoro Affairs Saleh Kamba, Minister for Primary Health Care James Kakoza, and the position of Minister for Investment Muyanja Mbabali. Then last year, just 4 months after appointment, 3 ministers stepped aside after they were charged in the anti-corruption court by the IGG. These include Sam Kutesa for Foreign Affairs, John Nasasira, the government chief whip, and Mwesiga Rukutana, Minister for State for Labour. Now, a political don at Makerere University believes that if government can run without these ministers in office, this renders them irrelevant.
It really means that we have an excess baggage of cabinet posts. So, and that brings me to the fundamental point. I think in this country, the size of cabinet is too huge. The size of government is too huge for the taxpayer. What we need to do is to ask hard questions. What can we reform to ensure that services are delivered, but also they are delivered in a sustainable way to the taxpayer? Because these cabinet posts have to be financed, and they are financed using taxpayers' money.
Court last week ruled in favor of the 3 ministers, and they are expected to return to office this week. However, some people argue that the president may be right to increase cabinet in view of the growing population. However, analysts think otherwise.
So having a large population does not necessarily mean that you expand cabinet. I'll give an example. President Barack Obama has a country which has 313 million people, the United States. But he has a cabinet of 21 secretaries, what we call ministers in this country. Australia has a population of 23 million. Their cabinet is 21.
In fact, the rule of thumb is that 21 is the recommended number of the cabinet positions for government. Analysts argue that technocrats are better equipped to run ministries than politicians, stressing that not all the cabinet positions are relevant.
You need 21 ministers irrespective of the size of the population. And the reason is that ministers are supposed to play the political role, supervising the bureaucracy, exercising political oversight, not getting involved in the actual delivery of services. So we don't expect ministers going to open boreholes. We don't expect ministers or heads of states to supervise the launching of a health center.
Early this year, 3 cabinet ministers were forced to resign. But what is the likely effect of having their positions unfilled?
We have made politics one of the most rewarding arenas, one of the most rewarding avenues for amassing wealth.
Presidential spokesperson Tamale Mirundi was indifferent when contacted over the vacant cabinet positions.
A sensible Ugandan would say, now that the government is functioning without 14 ministers, maintain the status quo. But a person who has been complaining that we are cooking so much food, when the food is reduced, he complains that we are going with the empty stomachs. So what type of reasoning is this?
So we should not expect any reshuffling?
No! You stick to the argument. What was the argument before?
Meanwhile, former Prime Minister Apollo Nsibambi noted that the large number of ministries was vital, but cautioned the president on the system of appointment.
After carrying out careful investigations, he has to balance different tribes, different regions. It is not an easy job.
One historian once noted, it's not the size of the team that can make you win a golden medal, but the output of the personalities. Maurice Ochol, NTV.